record this one. So legs crossed then, or legs out in front, wherever is comfiest for you. Let's just gently close the eyes. So we'll think about knobbly bits of our bum pressing down, top of the head lifting up, so nice and long through the spine. Shoulders away from those ears. Long through the spine, but try not to strain in the lower back. Let's just take a couple of really deep breaths, and we'll just let go of any tensions or frustrations that we might have. And then we'll start to focus on our breathing. So in and out through the nose if we can. And we'll start off with our deep abdominal breath. So if it helps, hands on belly. And as we breathe in through the nose, the belly rises. And exhale in through the nose, the belly falls back down again. So breathe in, the belly's filling up. And then breathing out, the belly falls back down again. Inhale in, the belly's rising. And exhale, the belly falls back down. And breathing in. And breathing out. And we'll move on to our full yogic breath. So again, if it helps, having your other hand up onto your chest. And this time then inhaling the belly, chest and collarbone, filling up. And exhaling, collarbone, chest and belly, fall back down again. And then inhale the belly, chest and collarbone, rising up. And exhale all the way back down. Inhaling all the way up to the top. And then exhale all the way back down. Breathing in. And then breathing out. And we'll try and keep the breath like this then for the rest of the class. So let's just keep our eye on it when we move through the poses. And taking a bit of an easier option then if we start to lose it. Just staying there until that breath comes back to this full yogic breath again. And then maybe coming back into the stretch if you want to. And then if we need to stop and have a rest or a drink, then doing that whenever you need one. And just listening to your own body this evening and doing what feels best for that. So we'll gently blink those eyes open then. Let's take the left hand out to the side. And as we inhale, let's reach that right arm all the way up. As we exhale, let's reach over the top. Inhale in, back to the ceiling again. And as we exhale, bring the hand back down. Good. Same on the other side, reaching up with an inhale. And exhaling over the top. Inhale back up to the ceiling again. And as we exhale, bring that hand back down. Good, we'll take a twist, right hand, left knee, left hand out behind us. So we're lifting up nice and tall. And then exhaling, twisting that chest open. Drawing that left shoulder back. Finding that deep breath. With an exhale, let's come back round to centre. Swapping over, same thing on the other side. So we're lifting up nice and tall as we breathe in. And then twisting that chest open as we breathe out. But with an exhale, let's come back round to centre. We'll take a forward fold into legs wide if you need to. Let's lengthen up with an inhale. And then as we exhale, let's start to walk those hands forward. So bum stays pressing down and back, reaching those fingers out. Top of the head's pulling forward as well, chin towards chest. Let's just take some deep breaths. With an inhale, let's walk the hands all the way back up. Fingers face your bum then this time. Palms pressed down, elbows and shoulders together. As we inhale, let's lift the chest and look up. Option then to lift your bum, come onto your knees. And then as we exhale, let's come all the way back down again. Good, so we'll come onto hands and knees. Knees under hips, wrists, elbows, shoulders stacked as well. Let's do cat-cow. So with an inhale, we'll let the belly drop down into cow. And then exhaling, tuck the toes under into cat. Inhaling into cow. And then exhale into cat. Good, breathe in and then into cow. And then breathing out. One more of each, so inhale. And then exhaling. Good, so with an inhale, we'll come back up. Fingers spread nice and wide, then we'll tuck the toes under. Let's lift the hips up and back into a downward dog. Spreading the weight nice and equally then through hands and feet. Starting to walk out those legs if they're a bit tight on the backs of on the calves. And gently nodding and shaking the head and just moving the body around as much as we need to. Good. So with an inhale, let's roll that weight forward and into a plank. Wrists, elbows, shoulders stack. Heels press backwards, nice and strong. And maybe bringing the knees down if you need to. Take some deep breaths. With an inhale, let's push ourselves up and back into our downward facing dog again. Walking out those feet. And pressing the chest back towards the thighs. And with an inhale, let's roll that weight forward and back into a plank. Pressing through those hands. Space between the shoulders, pressing towards the ceiling. And with an inhale, let's lift the hips up and back into your downward dog. With an inhale, then let's look forward, feet to the top of the mat. Exhale, let's fold over those legs. Inhale, press through the feet, let's reach to the ceiling. And as we exhale, let's draw the hands to center. Great, same again, then inhale, reaching all the way up. Exhale, let's fold forward and come all the way down with a flat back. Let's pop a bit of a bend through our knees, two first fingers around our big toes, pressing the toes down into the mat. As we inhale, can we stretch the legs a bit and look forward like a half rise? Exhale, soft knees and elbows wide, top of the head towards the top of the feet. If you want a bit more of a stretch, just gently straightening the legs. Let's find that deep breath again. With an exhale, let's bring those hands back down onto the mat. Let's start to heel toe those feet then to about the width of the mat, heels on, toes off. Let's take an inhale and look forward again. As we exhale, let's sink down into a squat. So rising up onto the toes if we need to. Good. Elbows can come to the inside of those knees, top of the head lifts, chest nice and wide. Good. We'll take some deep breaths. Brilliant. So with an exhale, lift your hips a little bit so you can bring the hands out behind you, and we'll bring the bum down onto the floor. Feet about as wide as our hips and fingertips facing your bum if you can. And as we inhale, let's press through the hands and the feet, lifting those hips up into tabletop. So really actively pressing down to lift those hips up. We can look towards the knees, we could start to look to the ceiling, or really gently letting that head drop back if it feels all right. Good, let's take some deep breaths. Really pressing through the floor. Two more breaths. Yeah, well done. With an exhale, then chin to chest. Let's start to bring the bum down. We'll bring those feet into touch and we'll take the right arm around both legs. Left hand out behind us. Let's take a twist. So we're lengthening up with an inhale. And as we exhale, let's twist the chest open to the left side. Shoulders on top of those hips. But with an exhale, let's come back round to centre. Left arm around both legs this time. Right hand out behind you. Same thing. We'll try and keep the shoulders on top of the hips again. Lengthening up then with an inhale. As we exhale, let's twist the chest open to the other side. Working with that breath again. Twisting a little bit further around with every exhale. With an exhale, then let's come back round to centre. Crossing the ankles over, then lean the weight forward, hands down. We're stepping back into our downward dog. So working out that those legs again. Taking some deep breaths. With an inhale, then let's take the right leg up, three-legged dog. Exhale, let's look forward and step that right foot through. Pressing that left heel down as we inhale, let's rise up into a warrior one. Hips and shoulders facing forwards, adjusting that back leg if we need to. Trying to take some deep breaths. Four corners of the right foot pressed down, right knee tracks that middle toe. With an exhale, then hands down either side of that right foot. As we inhale, then let's step back into our downward dog. And with your inhale again, let's draw the weight forward into a plank. Couple of deep breaths there. Good, as we exhale, let's lower to the mat. Inhale, then cobra, or maybe rolling gently up into an up dog. Good, as we exhale, let's tuck our toes under, then press your bum back towards your heels, chin to chest. Press through those feet, lifting those hips up, downward facing dog. With an inhale, then left leg up this time, three-legged dog. Exhale, look forward and step the left foot through. Drop that right heel down. Hips and shoulders square forward again as we inhale, press through the feet, rising up. Into warrior one on the other side. So again, adjusting that right leg, take it further to the side if it's too much on that lower back. And find that deep breath again. Great, so with an exhale, hands down, turn onto those right toes. Let's step back down, facing dog. And with an inhale, roll that weight forward for plank. Knees down if you need to. Exhale, lower to the mat. Inhale, cobra, up dog. Then exhale, let's take the hips high this time, then into your downward dog. Yeah, good. Finding that deep breath. And with an inhale, then let's take the right leg up this time, three-legged dog. Exhale, look forward and step the right foot through. So go down the left toes this time. With an inhale, pressing down and rising up into your warrior one. Well, let's start to interlace those hands. We'll take a pistol grip. So the first two fingers point to the ceiling. Lengthening up then nice and tall. Starting to straighten that right leg. Try not to block out that knee. Maybe starting to turn the gaze up to those fingertips for a bit more of a challenge. Take some deep breaths. Going press through the four corners of that right foot. Yeah, great. Brilliant. So turning the gaze back in front of you again, so back into that normal position. Let's drop the right hand down. And as we inhale, left arm reaches up even higher. Staying on those left toes, and as we exhale, let's reach forward and stop halfway. Really pulling that left arm forward, right hand on the hip. And as we exhale, then come down into your revolved triangle. We'll stay on those left toes for a bit more of a wobble. And you're keeping a soft bend through that right knee. Let's pull the head forward then with an inhale. Twisting the chest open as we exhale, right shoulder back. Right arm to the ceiling then if you want more of a challenge. Maybe turning the gaze up to that right hand as well if it feels alright. Yeah, brilliant. And really finding that nice deep breath. Working on every twist, on a twist with every exhale even. With an exhale, and let's come back round to centre. Hands either side of the right foot, then let's come down into a runner's lunge. So fingertips just in front of those toes, hips sinking down. Chest presses forward as the top of the head starts to lift. Left knee on the floor then if you need to, so that makes it a little bit easier. Great. Finding that deep breathing. Yeah, good. So let's plant the palms down. With an inhale, we're stepping back to a downward dog. With an inhale, let's roll the weight forward to a plank. Nice and strong. Exhale, and let's lower. Inhaling cobra or up dog. Exhale, let's tuck the toes under, bum to heels. And press through those feet then. Strong legs into a downward dog. Yeah, good. Find that breath. And with your inhale then, left leg up this time, three-legged dog. And as we exhale, let's step that left foot through. Onto those right toes then. Four corners of the left foot press down. As we inhale, let's rise up into a warrior one. And taking that pistol grip with our hands, and with an inhale, straightening up, left leg starts to straighten nice and long through the sides of the body. Checking in, we're not locking that left knee out this time. And then either stay looking forward or gently turning again to those fingertips. Trying to keep nice and long through the sides of the body. Finding that balance through the left foot. Good. Brilliant. So we'll keep the right arm up. We'll bring the left hand down onto the left hip. As we inhale, let's reach a little bit taller. Exhale, let's start to reach that right arm out in front. Holding it there halfway. And as we exhale, let's bring that right hand down wherever we can. Maybe soft bend through the left knee, revolve triangle. Let's pull the top of the head forward. As we exhale, left shoulder draws back. Left arm can come up if you want to. See how you feel. And then we'll be nice and wobbly on those right toes again. Yeah, good. So really working that twist. Left shoulder's working back with every exhale. But with an exhale, then back round to centre, hands either side of our left foot. So bend into our left knee, coming into that runner's lunge. Fingertips a little bit further forward of your left toes, hips sinking towards the mat. Chest presses forward as the top of the head lifts to the ceiling. Right knee down then if we need to. Good, we'll press nice and strong then out through that right heel. Chest looking forwards. Yeah, brilliant. So hands flat on the floor. Inhale, let's step back to a downward dog. And with your inhale again, weight rolls forward, plank. Good, as we exhale, lower. Inhale, cobra up dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog, hips high. Yeah, well done. Taking some deep breaths. Brilliant. So with an inhale, right leg up, three-legged dog. And as we exhale, then stepping that right foot through. We'll drop the left heel down again. Blending into our right knee. Right hand to the inside or the outside of the foot, then extended side angle. As we inhale, let's open that chest. Left arm to the ceiling. Fingertips really pulling up. Arm overhead, nice and long through that left side. Hand on the lower back wherever we can. Really working the left shoulder back. Drawing the hands further up the leg. Make it easy if you've lost the breath. Yeah, brilliant. So with an inhale, press through the feet, rise up, strong legs, warrior two. Might need to adjust those legs a little bit so the right heel lines up with the arch of the left one. It's nice and low. Fingertips really reaching the chest open, pulling out in opposite directions. Yeah, good. So with an inhale, let's straighten up. Left hand, left thigh, right palm faces up, then reverse warrior. Let's inhale and reach to the ceiling. And then exhale, let's start to reach away from that right foot. So really long through that right side, making some distance between the right hand and the right foot. Taking that bind with the left hand in for more of a challenge if you want to. Take some deep breaths. Yeah, brilliant. So with an inhale, let's come all the way back up. Bend the knee, and as we exhale, drop the hands down, turning onto those left toes. As we inhale, we're back into a downward dog. And bringing that weight forward and into a plank, wrists, elbows, shoulders stack. Exhale to lower. Inhale, cobra, we're coming up into an up dog. And then as we exhale, let's go up and back into a downward facing dog. Yeah, good. Nice deep breath still. You pressing the chest back, working the heels towards the floor, keeping that nice flat back. With an inhale, then the left leg up this time, three-legged dog. And exhale, let's step that left foot through, dropping that right heel down. And as we inhale, then pressing down, rising up warrior one. And as we exhale, let's open up into your warrior two. So again, checking in with those feet, nice and strong through the legs. Great. Brilliant. Oops, I forgot one, didn't I? We'll go and do extended side angle in a minute. Yeah, good. So with an inhale, let's straighten the left leg, reverse warrior, right hand, right thigh, left palm faces up. Inhaling then all the way to the ceiling. Really starting to lengthen down that left side, reaching the arm overhead for more of a stretch if you want it. Taking that bind with the right arm, then coming over that, around the back and over that left thigh. Take some real deep breaths, great. Yeah, good. So with an inhale, come back up then, warrior two. And we'll do extended side angle now. So hand to the inside or the outside of that left foot. So outside makes it trickier. Drawing that right hip back, that left hip back even. Right arm to the ceiling, right hand overhead or hand on your lower back. Chest really working back, pressing the left hand into the floor, left elbow pushing back. Right shoulder working back. Yeah, good. So with an exhale, then hands either side of our left foot. Let's turn onto those right toes, and with an inhale, we're into a downward dog. And with your inhale again, weight forward for a plank. So knees down, and if we're starting to lose our form a little bit, with an exhale, let's lower. Inhale, cobra, up dog. And then as we exhale, let's tuck our toes under their knees, heels and bum come towards each other. Pressing through those feet. Let's lift up, downward facing dog. Yeah, good. And with an inhale, then let's look forward and bring the feet to the top of the mat. I'll come midway for mine so you can see. Exhale, then let's fold. Good. So bending down as if we're coming into our chair pose. So maybe not as low as we normally would. Start to sink the hips down. We're going to shift the weight into our right foot. And see if we can take our left leg forward. Grabbing both hands on the foot if we can, sinking the hips down, looking forward. Let's take some deep breaths. Pressing that heel away. Back of the left leg's nice and long. A couple more breaths. Good. So with an exhale, let's bring that right hand and the left hand back down. Take the left leg all the way back. Let's come into half moon. So right hand in front of your right leg, left hand lower back. Four corners of that right foot pressing down. Then so find the balance. Drawing up to the sides of the right leg. Left shoulder starts to roll back. Strong through the left one as well. And we'll start to lift the left arm up. Maybe turning the gaze to that hand if we can. Finding a spot to focus on, real deep breaths. Brilliant. So with an exhale, hands back down, left foot comes in to meet the right. Let's take a ragdoll. Feet as wide as our hips. Hanging the body over those legs. Soft bend through the knees. And grabbing those elbows. Taking some deep breaths. Great. Same again then. So with an exhale, let's bring the hands down. Starting to sink into those hips a little bit. Four corners of the left foot press down. Then we start to bring that right leg out. When you've got your balance, let's bring the hands onto the foot. Looking forward. Take some deep breaths. And two more breaths. Yeah, well done. So with an exhale, hands down, the right foot goes all the way back. Coming into your half moon. Sorry, so left hand down, right hand lower back. Starting to open up that chest. Good, maybe extending that right arm up to the ceiling. Right hand on the lower back wherever you can. Rolling the right shoulder back. Yeah, well done, nice and strong through the legs. Brilliant, well done. So with an exhale, let's bring the hand and the foot back down. Take that ragdoll again. Hang over those legs. Taking some deep breaths. And with an exhale, then hands back down onto the mat. Let's step ourselves back into a plank. And if you can, then as we exhale, lower all the way down. We'll bring the knees down first, and we'll come to lay on our bellies. Good. So let's bring the forehead down. Let's have hands either side of those hips. And pressing those legs together. With an inhale then, let's take locust. Toes pulling away from the top of the head. And with an inhale, top of the head pulling away from the toes. Maybe reaching those fingertips back towards the ankles as well. Nice and wide across the chest. With an exhale, then let's lower down right here onto the mat. Let the body relax. Let's take a couple of deep breaths there. Great. So when you're ready then, let's come into bow. So bring the forehead back towards the floor, bend the knees. Using a tie or doing one arm and one leg at a time if you can't quite do twice, I'm going to say do both. Really inhale then. Can we kick the feet into the hands and lift the legs up? And then we'll start to lift the torso as well. Taking some deep breaths, nice and wide across the chest. Shoulder blades squeezing in. Yeah, well done. So with an exhale, let's lower down left ear onto the mat this time. Let the body relax. And find that deep breath again. And when you're ready then, hands underneath shoulders. Let's push ourselves up onto our hands and knees. So we'll come into camel. So folding that mat if you need to. So you've got a bit more cushioning under those knees. And then we'll tuck our toes under. The knees about as wide as our hips. So pop hands into the lower back. Elbows and shoulders squeezing together. With an inhale, let's lift the chest. And then exhale, pressing those hips forward. The only bit in the center of the chest starts to lift. Shoulders nice and wide on the front. Shoulder blades squeezing in at the back. Good option then to bring the hands onto the heels if you want to. It's up to you. Either way then, we're still pressing the hips forward, lifting the chest to the ceiling. Taking some deep breaths. Good. Yeah, well done. Brilliant. So if you've got your hands on your heels then, bring them back into the lower back. And then all together. With an inhale, let's start to rise all the way back up to the ceiling. Yeah, well done. So let's come down into a child's pose then. So toes in, knees out wide. Pressing your bum back onto those heels. Arms out in front or either side of your knees, wherever feels comfiest. Just letting that body relax. If you're a bit tight in the lower back, bring the forehead a little bit closer to your knees rather than stretching out. Great. So with an inhale then, let's walk our hands up towards our knees. Let's come onto our bum with our feet on the floor. Knees bent. Let's come and do boat pose. So you got your options then. We can keep the feet on the floor if that feels better. If that you can find that works your core more than your legs. You can always lift your legs off if that works better for you. So hands underneath if you want to, or arms reaching out as we inhale. Shoulders away from the ears, chest nice and open. Belly button draws towards the spine. Imagining those feet are really light if we're not lifting them off. Great. Pressing wide across the chest again. I'm really thinking about bony bit of the chest is lifting up towards the ceiling. And just moving around until you can really feel those core muscles start to work. Two more breaths. Yeah, good. So with an exhale, let's bring the knees towards the chest. So feet back on the floor if you're lifting them up. Let's pull the top of the head to the ceiling, stretching out that lower back. And then we'll do a second set. So it's up to you, feet on the floor, legs lifted off, hands under knees or arms reaching forward. Legs can straighten as well if you want to make it really tricky. Belly button towards the spine either way, then chest lifted up. Shoulders relaxing down, just making sure we're not straining in the neck. We'll take some deep breaths. Good. So just moving the body around until you can feel your core working rather than the front of those thighs. Try it with the chest a little bit higher. Yeah, well done. So with an exhale, feet back down, then if you lifted them off, let's bring the knees back in towards the chest again. Top of the head lift, stretching out that lower back. Great, so we'll come to lay down on our backs, drawing the knees towards the chest. Doing a good old squeeze in. You're starting to move that weight around on your spine. Great, so let's bring the feet back down onto the floor. We'll bring our right ankle on top of the left one. Let's do reclined pigeon. So toes to the ceiling, pressing that right knee away. So really opening up that right hip. And to keep both sides of the lower back on the floor. And then see how that feels. So staying there, we're taking that bind around the back of the left leg, drawing it closer. So the right ankle moving towards the body. We're still pressing the right knee away. Can we relax the rest of the body down? Looking for a good old stretch on that right hip. As we exhale, and if you've got the bind, let go so that left foot comes back down, and then we'll step the right one down as well. Same thing on the other side, left ankle on top of the right one. Toes to the ceiling, we'll press the knee away. Sides of the, both sides of the back are pressing down again. See how that feels on this side, staying there again, or interlace around the right leg this time. So left heel pulls, left ankle even pulls closer, left knee presses away. Feeling that stretch on the left hip get stronger. We'll still focus on our breathing. Yeah, good. So with an exhale, let's undo the hands and bring that right leg back down. We'll set the left one down as well. Knees coming in towards the chest and give a good old squeeze in. Moving that weight around on the spine again. So let's take a twist. So if we take a big inhale, And then as we exhale, let's roll ourselves onto our right side. Right knee down, left knee stacks on top. Rolling that left shoulder blade down onto the mat. So adjusting the legs if you need to. Arms out in that capital T position or bending at the elbows if you haven't got quite enough space. Option then to make it a bit tricky, we could stretch that left leg out and grab the toes with your right hand. Trying to keep that left shoulder blade on the mat still. So working wherever you can. Just adjusting as much as you need to, so it's feeling like a bit tight in that left armpit and straighten the legs a little bit. With an inhale then, neck to centre first. If you grab those left toes, let go and bring the foot back on top of the right one. Let's squeeze the legs together. Keep squeezing them, and then as we roll them back to centre, so not pulling that lower back, and then we'll draw the knees towards the chest, lengthening that tailbone down towards the floor. And then as we exhale, let's roll onto our left side this time. So left knee down, right knee on top. Rolling that right shoulder blade back onto the mat. So same thing then, arms out wide or cactus arms. Right leg can extend out then and grab the right toes with your left hand this time for more of a stretch on that right hip and the right side of your bum. And can we let the upper body relax? And take some deep breaths again. With an inhale then, let's bring the neck back up to centre. So if you grabbed your right toes, let go and bring the leg back on top of the left one. Legs squeezing together then as we inhale again, rolling the back over. And then we'll give those knees a good old squeeze in. Moving that weight around on the spine. So just rolling out any tight bits still hanging around, maybe on those shoulders. And we can start to roll those knees so the weight's moving around on the very lowest part of your spine. And back in the opposite direction as well. And taking those knees wide and then bringing them back in. And just doing that round in one direction. Go back in the opposite direction as well. Great. So when you're ready then, let's come into Shavasana. So if you want to pop anything warm on, you can do. And then we'll come to lay down when you're ready. So when you got yourself comfy, let's just gently close the eyes. And just gradually letting that breath go back to normal again. And just starting to quieten down the mind. And just let go of any thoughts, stresses and worries that we might be holding on to. And just starting to notice all the places on the body that are pressing down onto the mat. Just allowing those areas to get heavier and heavier. Just relaxing down through the whole body. And softening the chest and the belly. Just allowing the whole body to completely relax. Just absorbing all the benefits from the practice that we've just done. So we'll just start to take a deeper breath again. And just starting to move those fingers. Just putting in some life back into those hands again. You need to give those wrists a bit of a roll round as well. And start to gently move those toes. And just getting those muscles in the feet starting to move again. You're starting to move those ankles round. When you're ready, let's take a real big full body stretch. So reaching through those hands and out through the feet. And bringing the knees back towards the chest. Let's give them a good old squeeze in. And draw the knees towards the chest and just move it around on the spine again. When you're ready, just rolling over onto your right hand side, and we'll just take a couple more deep breaths there. We can come back up to seated when you're ready.